Welcome back, watch fans. We're going to be talking about the Rolex Milgauss. But first, on the wrist, we have the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak two-tone day-date moon phase powered by the great JLC movement. JLC Inside, that's right. Okay, so what is this Milgauss? Who buys this garbage? What does it say about you if you have one of these on the wrist? Okay, now I'm kidding. This is not garbage. It's actually kind of an interesting watch. So you know the whole history. Most of you watching this video, you know the history. It was invented in the 50s for, basically scientists working around, a lot of electronics that had magnetic fields. And, the magnetic field, I guess, magnetizes the watch or ruins the watch. Look, I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I didn't even graduate 11th grade. So what do I know about these things? I know the watch looks kind of cool, so who buys this watch? I mean, look, it's basically 10 grand if you want the good one, right? And here is the good one. This is the blue dial. I think they call this Z Blue, right? The Z Blue, the blue dial. And you have the green glass. So what gives the Milgauss the charm is the green glass. The green glass for the Milgauss is like the, I don't know, it's kind of like the gear-shaped pattern on the Audemars Piguet, almost on the dial. No, the green glass is really unique, and also you have that orange Thunderbolt arrow. You get some orange indexes around the indexes. Now, what I like about the watch is you have this very clean design, right? I've noticed that word "clean" is used a lot by, I don't know, why is everybody using that word? But yeah, it's basically minimalist, simple design, right? They basically pared down. They took out all the garbage, all the Baroque elements, fluted bezel, all that bullshit. So you have this very minimalist form as function. You got the clean watch. It's very well made, right? So it's the nice heavy bracelet with the newer clasp and all that, and you have the big loomed indexes, which is a nice touch. So it's very easy to read. It's a very simple watch. There's no date, which I think is a plus for a lot of people. So you could just put it on, whatever, and you're good to go. And you got a little something interesting with the orange Thunderbolt. It gives it a little bit of, it gives it a little element of style. It's sort of like, how do I explain this? To me, it's kind of like an Audi, or back in the day, the Audis were a little bit different. I don't know if you remember back in the mid 2000s or so, Audi was trying to, separate itself from, the others like Mercedes, and Audi made great cars back at that time. They had like a lot of great technology, but and it was basically the cognoscenti would buy the Audi instead of the Mercedes. The Mercedes was always just people buying the brand, but back in the, like, I don't know, the 2010s, 2008, 2006, 5, the Audi was the better car. Today, I don't know, it's kind of, they've gone downhill a bit, but again, so who would buy this watch, right? Look, the person who's paying 10 grand means, look, if you're buying a Milgauss for 10 grand, it means you can afford any other Rolex. And look, realistically, anybody who pays 10 grand for a basic watch like this, that means they probably could afford to spend 20 grand on something, right? Because this watch it's kind of an anti-statement. This is the anti-statement watch, right? Because nobody, the average punter is not going to recognize that it's a Rolex, right? So it's got all the quality of a Rolex. It's got, it's actually better. It's like the case is very thick, heavy, I guess, to prevent the electronic rays from going in and magnetizing the watch, which that's the one thing I don't like about this, is it's kind of a chunky watch. It's like there's no real purpose to it these days. It's just I don't know. It's just a thing. So who buys this watch? I think the person buying this watch is somebody, they want the Rolex, but they're kind of low key. They don't want the neighbor saying, "Oh, he's got a Rolex," or it's kind of like the guy that could afford like a Bentley or a Rolls, but he gets the Volvo station wagon or something, or the Audi station wagon. It's sort of like, you want to be like very low key, but you want something very technologically advanced, right? So the guy buying this is not going to wear vintage. They want like the thing, but they don't want people to saying it's a Rolex, and they want to stand out a little bit. They want something a little different. It's probably like a scientist. A lot of maybe somebody works in engineering, things like that, in the science-related fields. I think this is who buys this watch. It's not a flashy watch. Again, this is not the status watch. It's like those who know, they know, but it's very low-key. It's it's kind of like that Mercedes station wagon of watches. It's interesting. Now again, if you're gonna buy one of these, you want to stick with this model. That's the green glass. You want the green glass, the blue dial. That's the good one. It comes with the white dial. It's a little bit cheaper. The black dial, but this is the kind of really interesting one, in my opinion. And these were like, I think, $8,000, $8,500 new. You could probably get them for like, I don't know, $9,000, $7,000 even for the white or the black dial versions. Again, look, you see the contrast. I mean, this is this is two different personalities. Two different personalities. Would I ever get one? Come on, come on. I would never wear this piece of shit. No, it's a really nice watch. Not for me. Again, see, no what do you call it? No crown guards, very stripped down. It's an interesting watch. It really is an interesting watch. It's basically it's kind of like the engineer's watch. Like nobody's gonna. It's somebody that doesn't want to be noticed for a flashy Rolex with the fluted bezel and the Jubilee bracelet that glitters in the sunlight. Nah, this is kind of like the under the radar watch. It's like very Swiss. It's like. The person who buys this, they're wearing like, comfortable shoes, very well made, expensive, but, very comfortable, not flashy. That's what this is. Do I think this has upside? I don't know. I mean, it's a very particular taste. It's got kind of a limited appeal. I think it's almost more limited than even the Rolex Chronograph Thunderbird, because at least that you have the Air Force Thunderbird military history. You have the use of that rotating bezel for timing purposes. So it's much more practical. Here you just have like, I don't know, a watch that basically is not going to get magnetized if you're at a nuclear power plant or something. I don't know. It to me, it's kind of like basically a dud from Rolex. Interesting, but a dud. I mean, there's always guys who will buy this. Like the completionists. They have every Rolex. They need to have this. But the average person, I think, should avoid this watch. It's basically kind of a dog. You might like it, whatever. I'm not a fan. I respect it. I love the orange, that Thunderbolt. That's the cool thing. That's probably the only reason to buy it. And the green glass. I love green glass. Outside of that, it's like. I don't know. What's the point of it? It's like, what's the point of this watch? I don't know. All right, let me know what you punters think. Leave your vicious and nasty comments below. And if you want a review of your collection posted here, send your pictures of your watch or whatever, or questions, to brutalwatchreviews@gmail.com. brutalwatchreviews@gmail.com.